Welcome, everybody, to my new San Diego Padres draft-only franchise here in MLB 26. We just wrapped up a very successful Washington Nationals franchise where they won 2 World Series in a row, finished that thing off in 5 years. Now we're going to go back and do a similar thing that we did with the White Sox and the LA Angels. We're going to do the National League this time with the Padres, mostly because I love their uniforms and I love their ballpark. So give you a brief history of the franchise before we get into the team and all the players and the rules and all that good stuff. Major League Baseball did their first expansion in 1961 when they added 2 teams in the American League, Los Angeles Angels and the Washington Senators. There was already a Washington Senators team. They moved to Minnesota, which meant they got a new team in Washington to replace the old one. Second Major League expansion was 1962. The National League balanced things out by adding 2 teams, the New York Mets and the Houston Colt 45s, who later became the Houston Astros when they moved into the Astrodome. And then the third round of Major League expansion was in 1969, where they added 4 teams, 2 to each league. The Kansas City Royals, the Seattle Pilots, they went to the American League. Pilots moved to Milwaukee after 1 season. National League, Montreal Expos, who would later move to Washington, D.C. after the Senators moved to Texas in the 70s. And the final of those 4 teams was the San Diego Padres. And that expansion resulted in both leagues splitting into 2 divisions, East and West. And it also created expanded playoffs because previous to that, only the first place team in each league went to the World Series automatically. You finished first, you went right to the World Series with those 2 teams playing. And now they split into East and West divisions, and they had a best 3 out of 5 playoff for the league championship in each league, and then those winners would play in the World Series. Padres came into existence because of C. Arnold Smith, who was the owner of the original San Diego Padres of the Pacific Coast League. He won the expansion bid, and on May 27th, 1968, the franchise was awarded for a, can you believe this, $12.5 million team fee. Not 12 billion, 12 million. And the Padres is a Spanish term for fathers, which honors the friars of the Franciscan order who founded the Mission San Diego de Alcala in 1769. So that's where they get their nickname from. A majority of their early, all the way up until the early 2000s, from 69 up to 2000s, they played in San Diego Stadium, which was later renamed Jack Murphy Stadium, or the Murph. It also housed not only the Padres, but the San Diego Chargers and the San Diego State Aztecs of college football. The Padres moved into their baseball-only Petco Park in downtown San Diego for the 2004 season. They played there ever since. You'll get to see a lot of that in this rebuild. And the first player the Padres selected in the expansion draft was outfielder Ollie Downtown Brown, who used to play for the San Francisco Giants previous to that. The very first season, 1969, the Padres went 52-110. They were not a good team. They weren't a good team for a while. They did not get their very first winning season until 1979, when they won 84-78. Their first playoff trip was 1984. They beat the Cubs in the NLCS, the infamous Leon Durham ball through his legs, Steve Garvey walk-off home run, and then they got beat by Detroit 4-1 in the World Series. They went back to their second World Series in 1998, beat the Dodgers in the LCS, only to get swept by the Yankees in the World Series. Over their history, the Padres have made 9 total playoff trips, won 5 division titles, and their most wins in any season was 1998, that World Series run against the Yankees when they won 98 games. There are 3 players that have played for the Padres that have made it to the Hall of Fame, as a majority of their career was in the Hall of Fame. Dave Winfield from 73 to 80, and he left and went to the Yankees as a free agent. Trevor Hoffman from 93 to 2008, and the infamous Tony Gwynn from 1982 to 2001. They've had 1 MVP in their entire history, and that was Ken Caminiti in 1996, which was tainted with steroids. They've had 5 Cy Young Award winners: Randy Jones in 1976, Gaylord Perry in 1978, Mark Davis in 1989, Jake Peavy 2007, and Blake Snell 2023. They've had 2 Rookies of the Year, Butch Metzger, who was a pitcher, relief pitcher, 1976, and then Benito Santiago in 1987. They've had 2 no-hitters thrown, several that were close, but finally 2 guys did throw no-hitters for the Padres. Joe Musgrove got the first, beat Texas 3-0 on April 9th, 2021. And then Dylan Cease beat Washington 3-0 on July 25th, 2024. There have been 3 cycles hit by Padre players. First one was Matt Kemp on August 14th, 2015 against Colorado. Then Will Myers on April 6th, 2017 against Colorado. And then Jake Cronenworth on July 16th, 2021 against Washington. So that catches you up on all of their history, all the awards, all the really cool things that have happened in the franchise history. And now we're going to hop in and I'm going to go through the team. I'm going to show you the guys that we get to keep after the season. Anybody that's 23 or younger, I'm keeping, regardless of whether they're on the Major League roster, 40-man roster or not. I've tried to move everybody that was 23 and younger off the 40-man roster except for Jackson Merrill, because he's already in the Major Leagues. He's already been playing for a while, so he will stay there. And that's just one less Rule 5 pick we're going to have to make down the road. But we're going to get into those players right now. I'll show you that, all the positions each guys we're looking at, and then we'll go through each one of the rules that we're going to play by in this franchise. All right, let's take this position by position. We'll go with starting pitchers first. I'll show you the guys that will be sticking around after season 1. Start off with our highest rated one, Cruz Schoolcraft, left-handed pitcher, 6'8" out of Oregon. And you can see his numbers there. Really good strikeouts per 9 against lefties. Marginal stamina at 69. He's got to work on everything else. And I want to show you this. I think he was a two-way player coming out of high school, and they gave him 2 hitting quirks. It's hard enough getting quirks as it is, and you get the wrong quirk. So he excels at hitting pitches out of the zone, and he performs better when no one's on base. And why that is attached to a pitcher, I have no idea. Way to go, San Diego Studios. Next on there is Jackson Wolf, 26 years old, 64 overall, C potential. He's 6'7" as well. Great stamina. Everything else is pretty marginal. Sean Boyle is on there at 29, nothing special, 29D. He's just an arm that'll get replaced pretty quickly. Victor Lizarraga, 22 years old, 63 overall, C potential, pretty even across the board, so we can build him up however we want, and he is 6'3". Miguel Mendez, another B, 23-year-old, 63 overall, marginal stamina at 67, decent strikeouts, especially against lefties. And he is 6'2", 23. Omar Cruz, 27 years old, 62 overall, C potential. He's just a roster filler, left-handed starting pitcher. Cash Mayfield, 21-year-old, 62 overall, C potential. And again, marginal stamina there. Everything else is right up the middle, 6'4". Evan Fitterer, 25-year-old, 58 overall, C potential, just roster fodder. Last one, Eric Yost, 23, 57, and a D. Again, roster fodder. Relief pitcher side, we have Bradley Rodriguez, who's actually pitched in the major leagues just a touch last year. 22 years old, 62 overall, C potential. Really good hits per 9, good strikeouts against righties, decent clutch as well. Got to work on his control. And he is 6'1". See, he came up last year and pitched a little bit. Johnny Brito. Remember him from my Angels franchise. Doesn't strike out a ton of guys. Decent control and clutch. And yeah, he's in there. He's just not in a 40-man. And he'll just be a usable reliever for a little bit. Ty Adcox, 29, 59D. Nothing special. Tristan McKenzie used to be with the Indians, Guardians. And I actually shifted him over from starting pitcher. He was in the low 60s, but that 62 stamina is not going to work. 25 control is not going to work. We're going to use him as a starting pitcher. Fernando Sanchez, 25-56. Justin Yeager, 28-56. Jagger Haynes, he was listed as a starting pitcher as well, but he has 62 stamina. That is not going to work. 6'3", so he's just going to go into the bullpen. Hopefully he can be a setup guy at some point. Same thing with Coleman Borthwick, 18 years old. He was in the low 60s, B potential, but he has even worse stamina at 60. So he will definitely be working out of the pen, being developed there. 6'6", love tall pitchers. And the rest of the guys down here, all D potential, nothing special, no closers. Catchers, we have Ethan Salas, used to be the number 1 prospect in all of baseball. Great defensive catcher, good power. And again, he's 19 years old, so he will definitely be our catcher of the future. Just got to get him developed up. Other catchers that we do have, Rodolfo Duran, he's 28. He's a 62D, but you can use him in the minor leagues. Blake Hunt, 27, 62C. Lamar King, 22 years old, 60 overall C potential. Another good defensive catcher with decent speed. And Oswaldo Linares, 2255D. So we have 5 catchers. So we really only need to add 2 guys at the major league level for year 2 in the Rule 5 draft and just wait for Salas to develop. First base, we have 3 guys not on the 40-man. Jose Miranda, who has played at the major league level. Good contact, decent power, good vision and clutch. You can see what he's done in the past with Minnesota. Romeo Sanabria, 23-year-old, 59C. Mostly defense, decent speed, okay power. Vision, clutch, discipline are horrible. Jack Costello, 24, 51C. Got good vision, but nothing else on the hitting side. Second base, we have veteran Nick Solak. You can see play first, second, third, left, center, right. Play everything but shortstop. Doesn't really do much of anything but hit against lefties. Pablo Reyes, 32 years old, 62 overall, C potential. Can play all infield. Just can't play catcher or outfield. We got a couple of 26-year-olds down here who are just roster fodder. Third base, 23-year-old, 61 overall, C potential, Zach Evans. Great arm, good speed. Everything else just kind of right down the middle. So however he develops, see if he can get to the majors or not. Blake Duncan, 2959D. Osman Verdugo, 2159D. And Dylan Grego, 2256C. Can play second, short, and third. Good defense and speed. Has to work in his bat. Shortstop, we have Francisco Acuna, 2663D. Luis Verdugo, 2563D. Ryan Jackson, only one with a letter grade, 2462C. Good defense and speed. So we got to work on shortstop for sure. Outfield, we have these bottom 3 guys. They're all Ds. And yeah, we'll just have to get some left fielders in the Rule 5 and in the regular draft. Center field, besides Ethan Salas, we have Jackson Merrill. Those are the 2 crowns on our organization. 2294A. I was not going to throw him back out there. He is our star player, and he's already played 2 full years in the major leagues. He's already got a huge contract at $15 million per year through 2034, and it's got 4 different quirks. So yeah, don't want to let him go. And his secondary is shortstop. So if we find outfielders and don't find a shortstop, I'm definitely moving him back to short. So don't be surprised if he goes back to shortstop. Also in center field, we have Jace Bowen, 2564D. Carlos Rodriguez, 2564D. Kai Roberts, 2563C. He's got decent ability in the outfield, good arm and good speed. Not much of a bat. Kason Wells, 2260C. Good defense, good speed, okay bat, no power. And Ryan Weidman, 2254C. I don't know why his reaction is 0. I don't understand that. It's screw up on San Diego's part. Good speed, good arm, good defense, not much of a bat. And he's from Spain, by the way. And in right field, I wish I could keep Fernando. Hey, Fiend, it's kind of hard to let him go. We have Braden Carpathios, 2258D. Caveras Tiers, 2358C. Great defense and speed, not much of a bat. And then Nick Schnell, 2557D. So, got some guys to work with, not a whole lot. And we're going to have to let a bunch of guys go. Look at our coaches. We will probably fire every one of these guys at the end of the first season and go get our own guys after that. And on the scouting side, we have 3 excellent scouts. You don't know how to pick scouts? Go watch Fiend Franchise's scouting videos, and he'll tell you what to look for, not only when you're scouting and in the draft, but what you need to do to set up your scouts properly, which is this right here. Melissa Shira Rivera, 98 efficiency, 96 pitchers. Eric Garden, 97 efficiency, 95 position players. And then JJ Lockett, 98 discovery. And we still have 20,000 left over if we need to replace anybody. And I don't know that it's going to make a difference. We can make 3 trades. I would love to have the computer make me an offer for one of these guys and just give me one really good prospect, but we'll see how it goes. But I have Tatis and Mason Miller on the trade block to see if we get any kind of offers for them at all. Untouchables are all of our guys that are C potential or better. And position-wise, I'm looking at shortstop, left field, and right field. If you go by the top 20 in our organization, C. Salas, Schoolcraft, Borthwick, Mayfield, Ozaraga, Mendez. So all the guys that they're all in our top 20. Our farm rank right now is 25, so we do not have a good farm system, so we're going to have to fix that in every one of these drafts. So even if I don't find someone to hop into the starting lineup right away, we need to backfill and get this minor league system set up so that if we do find someone we can trade for that's not on anybody's 40-man roster, we can go make a deal for that player. And that is our intro look at the San Diego Padres for our draft-only franchise. I'm going to go ahead and just sim the spring training, get us to the regular season, get everybody set in Major Leagues, AAA, AA, A-ball, get all that set up. Everybody's already set on the 40-man, so you don't have to worry about any of those guys that we have set aside down at AA being called up to the Major Leagues. So don't need the CPU messing things up, but that's where we are. And now our draft-only franchise rules. This is what we have to live by as we go through. As I said before, we're going to release everybody that's on the 40-man roster after year 1. We're going to replace the entire 26-man Major League roster via a Rule 5 draft, except for Jackson Merrill. He'll stay. He'll play center field or shortstop, and we'll pick up 25 other guys. We can add players via the Major League draft, via the Rule 5 draft, any undrafted free agents that are sitting out there, and limited trades. So we're going to give ourselves a limit of 3 trades total, which can only be a 2-for-1 max. So we can't trade 3-for-1, 4-for-1. It's only 2-for-1. And the guys that we're trading away have to be at least a C potential or higher. And the acquired player cannot be on their original team's 40-man roster. It's going to limit what we can trade. And with the stupid trade system that was introduced this year, it makes it even harder because they lock everybody that's a good prospect down. So we're going to have to wait and see who actually goes on the trade block at the middle part of the season every year to see if we can make a deal. Additionally, a new thing I'm doing for this one in particular, anybody that's 23 years old or younger on the original roster is being taken off the 40-man, and they will be available for us to use going forward. So Jackson Merrill, normally you would have to cut him, but he is too good to just cut. And since he is so young and already signed to a big extension, we're going to keep him and make him the focal point of the team going forward until we can draft some other high caliber players. So that's the rules we are playing by. And now it's time to just get in and get gameplay done. I will tell you, we will go quickly through the first 2, maybe 3 seasons. We'll be focused on just showing you what our guys are doing down in AA. I'll hop up and show you anything happening with Jackson Merrill as well. Does something great or gets hurt, unfortunately. We'll go through and show you that as well, but we're going to focus on the draft, scouting the players, what's in the draft, where we're picking, and building the team up that way and go from there. So the first few years until we get enough players to put them up at the major leagues and have them be ready to go, it's just going to be focused on the minor leagues. And Jackson Merrill is so young at 22 that even if it takes 3 years, he's still only going to be 25. So he'll be plenty young for us to build this team around with all the other players coming in. So just be patient and enjoy the process. If you watch the Angels franchise, we got some stud players in the first few years. Edgar Mota was one. Freddie Lorenz, Derek Siddiqui, all those guys. Ray Harvey had absolutely great drafts, but that was MLB 25, MLB 26. The draft classes have not been nearly as kind, and so it might be a little bit more of a longer-term franchise and take us a lot longer to be a really good team. So there's nothing wrong with that either. We can enjoy the process. So anyway, guys, hope you enjoy this one. Hope you enjoyed the Nationals earlier this year, and we're going to run this one all the way through the fall and the winter up to when the next MLB The Show launches, whenever that is. Hopefully we'll have a baseball season next year. If you like the content, please like, subscribe, comment, share it out, hit the notification bell so you know when the very first real episode goes live. I'll see you soon, and go Padres.